Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from
Book Dreams,
and welcome to a new video. So this is our February wrap-up, yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good.
It says March TBR here, although it's a wrap-up, but okay.
Alright. So in February, I read 14 things, which actually from my humongous TBR, I didn't read 3 books from my humongous TBR, which is really good for me. I usually read entirely outside of my TBR. Of those 14 books, I have 7 paranormal romances, 1 sci-fi romance, 2 sci-fi books, which I read for Blackathon, 2 urban fantasies, and 2 fantasy books.
Okay,
what do you have?
I read 11 books, so
Good.
That's cool. I have 2 middle grades, 4 urban fantasies, 1 paranormal romance, 2 SFs, 1 fantasy, and 1, what is that?
Mystery. Alright, so we'll just start.
Okay, I'm first, right? Okay, so we're gonna kick this off with Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. This is a book that we actually have a review for, so we will link it somewhere around here. This is basically the story of Ivy, who goes to a magical school to where her sister works to kind of
investigate.
Thank you, that was the word. To investigate a murder that happened there, but was kind of called a suicide.
Yes, something happened under suspicious circumstances. Yes.
And she goes there and basically investigates. And I think we had an okay time with it. We had some both pros and cons, so it was like a middle.
Check out our review.
Check out our in-depth review for that.
All right. So another book that both of us read this month is Night's Shadow by Sebastian de Castell. This is book 2 in the Greatcoat series, and we will have a review coming up soon of this book. But basically, in this book, we follow Falkio. Just after the events of the first book, Falkio is the member of the Greatcoats, which is like the musketeers of this world. And after their king has died, they go around doing the secret missions that the king gave them. And to say anything more would spoil the first one, so for people who haven't read the first one,
Sorry?
Yeah. We will have a review, as I said before, so look forward to that soon.
Maybe a spicy review.
Yes, we have some thoughts.
Yes.
All right.
So, what do I have? Oh, okay. So, another review that we have. We're just killing it with reviews this month.
Excellent.
So, I read Kinsman by Ilona Andrus. So these are 3 novellas, Silent Blade, Silver Shark, and Faded Blades. We have a review of all of those in our Paranormal Romance Week. So you can go check those out. But basically this is a world where you have enhanced humans. There's like a new city called New Delphi, and like our main characters usually like
have powers,
and like there's a guy and a girl, and like not guy and a girl, like adults.
Yes.
And we just follow like how they get together basically, but it's like so much more. It's urban fantasy and like
or sci-fi, also has sci-fi elements as well.
Like it has a lot of elements. So
but check out the review too for more thoughts.
And the second review in that same week that I read was Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon, which is the story of Esther, who kind of comes to Rooksgrave Manor to be a courtesan.
Sure.
Can we say that?
Sure.
So basically it's a reverse harem story. She has, I think, 5 or 6 gentlemen that she chooses and that choose her. And there's a lot of smut. Go check out the review.
All right.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the month, I got COVID, and I read a bunch of paranormal romances. I do have a vlog of this, so you can check it out if you want. But I've read 5 books in the Mystic Bayou series by Molly Harper. So basically, in this paranormal romance series, we follow people who live in a town called Mystic Bayou, which is centered around a swamp that has a magical rift thing that sends energy into our world that attracts shapeshifters to it.
Okay.
And in the first book, we follow Jillian, who is an anthropologist, and she's sent by like a league of something. It's like the governing body of the shapeshifters.
Okay.
And basically, she's sent there to do an investigation to see how shapeshifters and humans interact in this town, because it's the only town where they live together without any problems.
Okay.
So in the eventuality that people find out about shifters and so on, they can be a blueprint of how stuff works and how they can work. So basically in the first one we follow Jillian and Bael. He is a dragon shapeshifter and he's the sheriff of this town. So, and he's also like kind of grumpy because she's there, and he doesn't want like outsiders in the town and so on. So basically their relationship together. In the second one we follow the town's mayor, I forgot, Zed, who is my favorite character. I cannot believe I have to think about his name, and his female partner, who I don't know, I forget names all the time. So basically each of them follows, each book follows a different supernatural being with another supernatural being or human getting together, and also there is some sort of plot besides. In the first one there is a serial killer who kills people. In the second one there you have not spies, what do you call those people, saboteurs, who go around just making sure that the rift stays open and becomes more and more dangerous, because now the rift is affecting humans, turning them into shapeshifters and so on. So throughout the series, at least the first 4 books and one novella that I read, people have been trying to make sure that humans find out about shapeshifters, so the shapeshifters could take over the world and so on. But it's romance, so that's it's fun. The second paranormal romance series that I read is something that I cannot pronounce. So basically this is something you sent me, and this is written by Ellie M. Drew. So she wrote she's writing currently, I guess, the paranormal series about a town called something I cannot pronounce.
Let's
see this, it's a French word. Garureve, I don't know. Basically in French, I don't know. It basically means a wolf's dream in French.
Okay.
So it's a town filled with wolf shifters, and it's a magical town that appears when you need it. So in the first book we follow Ariana, because Ariana Grande in my head. So we follow Ariana, who is coming home from a wedding where she was basically the designated fat friend, and her relationship has fallen apart. She got fired because she was blamed for someone else's mistake. So basically her life is falling apart. And on the way home she comes to this town, to this bar, and meets Colburn, and they have a spicy night together. And she leaves, but then she's like, I have nothing. And he's like, in the entire time, he's very nice to her. And he's like, you can come back anytime. So she goes back to her town, and she's like, my boyfriend sucks, my job sucks, I have nothing, I'm going back to this town. And basically becomes stuck there. Magical town, she can't leave until, she decides that she's coming back and so on. And the entire time, like, Colburn's not telling her about the shapeshifters, and when she finds out about the shapeshifters, there's like so much angst, it's so good.
Yes. So you like it?
Yes, and
okay, then I'll say I found this at Jean's Bookish Thoughts, so I'll just link her channel down below, so you know.
Alright, good, because I also read the sequel when it came out. So basically when you sent me the book, it was, when you sent me the link, basically that was the beginning of the month, and during the middle of the month, and by the end, the second one came out. And when that came out, I read that too, and we follow a second couple. Basically this, there is, I don't remember the girl's name, and also remember the guy's name, but the guy...
she's also plus size, like the
all the female characters are plus size, and basically the author said that she wanted to write a book in which plus size heroines are basically railed by shapeshifters, and that's what she does. And it's so much fun, and the smut is fun, the angst is just fantastic, and I love the angst, and and the characters are really interesting to follow, so good. Alright.
Okay, what else? Oh, okay. So another book we both read, and this was a book for our book club, and that is done by Octavia E. Butler. So, this is basically a story about Lilith. So, the backstory is Earth got... Basically, humans started a war and offed, basically, each other. And then came this aliens called Uankali, who saved what could be saved from Earth. And then we follow Lilith as Uankali wake her up in their spaceship and tell her their plans for the future of human race. Let's say it like that.
Yes.
Basically, I mean, we both felt like it was very interesting.
It was interesting.
Because, like, I don't even know what to say. It felt different, from other similar stories, I guess.
Okay, sure.
I think I
you
don't
can't say without spoiling stuff.
Yes, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, so like to me it was like something new. But the problem is all the issues that we had with like things that characters did is a direct spoiler for the book.
Yes. There are issues of consent throughout the book, which I don't know if see, you can't say without spoiling stuff.
Yes.
Can you? I mean, it's from our point of view of current of the 21st century, of all our sensibilities and so on. Consent is an issue in this one, but you can also talk about the bad plan that the aliens have of repopulating Earth and how they were going to do it and how they went about doing it. But overall, it is very interesting, and it was a very interesting concept and idea. This was written in the 80s, late 80s,
1987.
87, and it was very interesting. I'm always wary of reading books that are older than I am, because I always think that they're boring and that I won't understand. Usually, I mean, sci-fi, it definitely gets to be sort of highbrow. And I'm like always worried I'm not going to understand everything, but this was very interesting and it was easy to understand and easy to read. And
it wasn't technical sci-fi, like in the sense of technology.
Yeah.
It was more in the sense of how people would react to
the
aliens,
situations
to
and
the
stuff.
situation.
I mean, I wrote in my Goodreads review, this is just exactly how humans would react to the situation that they found themselves in. Which is not well. And it was fun. It was an interesting read, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I also read the sequel.
Right.
So, Adulthood Writes. And in this one, it's actually quite a twist because we do follow characters from the first book. Mm-hmm. But in essence, our main character becomes Akim, who is like the first, I'll just say male-born. The first male that is born in this new world. Mm-hmm. And we follow his journey as he do you want me to spoil this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it.
Basically, the humans eventually do go to Earth.
Yes.
And we follow him as he kind of navigates Earth and the different tribes that have settled there.
Lord, I can already imagine. Not going well.
Yeah. And just another, it's literally just an expansion on the relationship between the humans and the Oankali, and how, again, how the differences between the two species, in essence, affect their thinking. Because, like, even in Dawn, you have, like, also not just issue of consent, you have, like, gender is very much a key aspect of
the
story, and just I literally am reading the third book right now.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm definitely interested enough to see where this goes, because I have a feeling that, like, although each book is in itself a story, you can get the entirety, like the epicness of it, only if you read all three, because each basically, the third one also deals with something completely different. So you get like different points of views from so it's if you get, like, first you have a human perspective, then you have like hybrid, let's say, and then you have like something that's completely new in the third book. So it's very interesting because you get to learn more about humans, how Oankali think humans work, how Oankali work themselves. So, like, it's very much like a journey. You really have to go through all three books to get, like, kind of the whole story, I guess.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I read Dawn for Blackathon, which is still going on. Actually, we have a couple of days left of the month. Basically, the whole reason was to read not science fiction, but speculative fiction. No, actually, every fiction by Black authors. I'm just thinking from my favorite genres. So I read Dawn, and for that I also read The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 3 in the Broken Earth trilogy, and to not spoil stuff for people who haven't read it. This series follows Esun, she discovers that her son has died and that her husband has taken her daughter away somewhere because he has discovered that her children, as herself, have some magical powers. Basically, they can control the earth, and she finds that out because the 5th season has started. This is book 1, 5th season, and seasons are the 5th season. Basically, is a time in this world's earth where basically the world ends. There is some cataclysmic event that basically forces winter, ice age, and whatever, just so that humans basically destroys the earth and humans have to somehow survive, and then till the next season starts. This is a series that you need to concentrate when reading. The first one, in my opinion, was the best. Because you set up the world and there's so many interesting discoveries.
And the twist is everything.
And the twist and so on are so good. But the second book and the third one, this is basically just the consequences of the first one, and just trying to figure out how Esun will find her daughter and in what conditions both of them will be. And they're also outside forces. You have like the people who are made of rocks. Who basically travel through the earth and they affect things, and they also use these magical users for procreation, basically, by eating them. It's awful.
I'm intrigued to that. Okay.
And also in this one you discover how they were made and how they were created and how they basically set things in motion. But as I said, this is going to require rereads for you to, for me at least, to realize everything that the author wanted to say.
Okay.
And to get all the details and get all the stuff, because I'm listening to audiobooks are amazing. So if you got the chance, definitely do it through audio as well. But reading this, I was like, this is so complicated. This is so many factions that you have to follow and figure out.
The first book was also like that.
Yes, but I don't know. The first book seemed more interesting because I wasn't familiar with the world, so discovering everything from anew was really interesting. But as you go on, you basically, as in the same, every time you read like a post-apocalyptic thing, humans suck. And reading that humans suck, and here you have also magic added to the whole suckiness of the whole thing. It just makes the reading not a pleasant reading experience. No. And and this took me a long time to read.
Yeah, I know.
I got to like 20%, and then I didn't touch it for like 3 months, and then I was like, okay, it's a Blackathon. I'll finish it for Blackathon. And I'm glad I did, because I finally finished a series this year. Definitely will require a reread so I can like get everything that the author
Does it really
wanted to
get
say.
more fantasy as you go toward, like, I think that's what people said, like,
it does get a bit more fantasy, but in this one you basically find out that there was a very advanced city, like this is then it's pure sci-fi, that had like electricity, had everything, and how that city came to be and how that city got destroyed.
I just heard people like they didn't like that it turned from sci-fi to fantasy. That's what I heard.
The entire thing is like a mix of science fiction and fantasy from the beginning. I didn't mind like steering that the story went like in what way. So more to sci-fi, more to fantasies, but yeah. Anyway, it's going to require rereads. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Right. So we filmed this wrap up, and it lasted 30 minutes. So we are very kind to you and decided to divide it into 2. So this is end of part 1. If you have read any of the books that we have mentioned so far, please do share your thoughts down below in the comments. There are some links in the description box for you to check out to see how you can help with what's happening in the Ukraine and everything else that is happening in the world right now.
Yes, please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos.
And thank you so much for watching, and look forward to the second part of this wrap up and all the other videos that we do. All right, bye!